Hi, Tariq, Daphne here. Thank you for sending in your essays for correction. Well done, you're working super hard. And I've seen you've done another one as well for me, which I will do later tonight. Just a word of caution. Don't go too fast, because otherwise you can't take on board any corrections that I'm going to suggest to you. Um, it's always a good idea to try and watch the correction that comes back to you like now before you do the next one, yeah, just so you can really benefit from any feedback, which I hope will be useful. Okay, here we go. Some people believe technology has made man more social. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether. Be careful on debating that or debating whether. So here you want debating whether, which is basically like if. Yeah, you can't debate that technology. So you need to have debate whether technology has made. So technology, although there's lots of it, it works like a singular. Has made an invaluable contribution in developing social relationships among society, while some experts are of the opposite view. Among society or not, or is proving detrimental. Okay, yours is absolutely fine, while some experts are of the opposite view. There's nothing wrong with this at all. It's just a little bit long for me, whereas I think this is neater, or is proving detrimental. So is refers back to technology, proving detrimental, so like or damaging. This essay will argue both views. Yeah, I need your opinion in here. Remember the algorithm? Okay, so remember that one. You need to get your opinion in here now, and then you introduce your essay. On the one hand, there's ample evidence that with the advent of technological advancements such as smartphones and the internet, good, very good using examples such as is my favourite thing, well done, communication has considerably improved in recent decades, benefiting society in numerous ways. Perfect. What a strong sentence. Really, really lovely. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, smart devices allow instant communication to happen seamlessly across the globe. Good. Secondly, the internet. Now, when you're talking about it like a subject, like an actual noun, it's always the and it's always capital I. The internet has improved international connections as it minimizes language barriers and cultural differences among countries because of the vast knowledge available to available at just a few clicks on Wikipedia. Good. Okay. Wow. Complex sentences here. This is really lovely. Well done. For example, a recent research. Now remember, you can have a recent study, but you can't have a recent research. So you can have recent research or a recent study by the UK government demonstrated that global relationships have escalated by 30% on average in the last 2 decades, and this, don't repeat escalation, it's a good word, but don't repeat it, this is directly related to an increased use, increased, because that's an adjective, use of the internet again, and social applications over the same period. Okay, or over the period is fine. It is therefore conclusively clear that technology has you can't incredibly affect. That doesn't work as a collocation. You could have enormously affected or massively, although that's a bit informal. Maybe I go enormously affected are ways of meaning. So, on the other hand, although this is a case for technology favouring society, favouring we don't use very often, but I say favouring and improving. So if you put both verbs in there, then that kind of makes it a bit better. Bad influences, rather than bad, maybe use negative. Bad is not a very obviously high level word. Of advanced technology, adjective, cannot be overstated. This is largely because, now you need to have because of the increased, again, adjective, use of social applications such as Facebook, yeah, which you need a relative clause here, have reduced face-to-face contact. People nowadays feel awkward while talking to others, either face-to-face or in person. You've had face-to-face already, so I would go in person. As they're more used to texting, Yes. Now I've put in. There's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, you could have that. But I put in nowadays because I think you need to have this at the beginning, this kind of time idea, rather than at the end. Use of texting and link it together, and the younger generation comparative there uh, are, it's a plural, losing confidence in themselves to face practical issues. To illustrate this, an extensive study by now you don't need the, so Oxford University capital letters showed that social media applications are having, rather than leaving, having detrimental effects on mental health of adults. It wouldn't enable, because enable is usually like a benefit. Um, so maybe resulting in loss of confidence. Okay, resulting in loss of confidence. I'd put that in there instead. Thus, it's possible to state beyond doubt that the excessive use of I don't think you need recent electronic devices are also damaging society. Good, very nice. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although modern advancements in technology have hugely contributed, this is a verb, to socialism. Whoa, hang on. To social patterns, um, to a change in social patterns. Okay, socialism is like conservatism or fascism. It's like a political movement, so you can't have that there. Uh, the negative impacts in society are far more visible and relevant. It's predicted that such issues will continue to grow, maybe continue to be discussed in the future. Okay, you need the. Okay, so really nice essay, Tariq. You're writing very, very well. What I'm picking up from this, though, is quite a lot of issues to do with articles. Quite a few issues to do with whether things are plural or not. Some issues to do with adjectives. So sometimes you've put a verb which should be an adjective. So these are probably things that you, if you take time at the end to edit, you might find you can correct yourself on these, but they are quite important because they would obviously be spotted by an examiner. Okay, and watch out for ones that look like plural but actually they're singular, and vice versa. But otherwise, very strong essay. Well done. Really nice. So we've got a task one bar chart here. The illustration provides, it's not just an illustration, so you should say it's a bar chart. Provides information concerning sales of 2 different types of shoes in various countries. Yeah, you could say 9 different countries. Countries in Europe. Yeah. So be as specific as you can, and you must tell me what kind of chart it is. Now, you have put your overall sentence at the end, which is absolutely fine. We debate this a lot at IELTS podcast. Ben likes it at the end. Some of the SK characters and me like it better at the beginning, so I would move it up to here. My advice would be, if you have enough time, put it here, because for me this is more logical. It's like your introduction. If you are short of time, leave it at the end, because there is probably more grammar and more information in here than there is in here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So overall, Italy and Hungary and Italy sold the most. If you're using a superlative, you must have the most shoes, and France sold the least. Yeah, rather than and, you could have whereas. So you're going to be practicing using contrasting, connecting words rather than and. So whereas France sold the least, and you don't need to repeat number of shoes because you've already had that just here. Okay. In Belgium, brown leather shoes were not sold in a big quantity. Okay, absolutely not at all. Okay, were dramatically lower than elsewhere. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just the most obvious thing about the whole chart. So let's really make sure that the examiner knows that you've seen that immediately. Okay. Hungary and Italy recorded the highest sales figures for both types of shoes. Sales of black leather shoes were slightly more than brown leather shoes. Okay, and the sales figures for both countries range between, you need 100, 1,000 and 140. So watch out how you write these numbers is also really important. 140,000, and you can use this magic word respectively, which is a great word, very useful. A similar trend was seen in the UK with 100, so same, we're going to be correcting the numbers, a black and 80 brown leather shoes. Okay. In Belgium, more than 100, oh no, you don't know that. Because sales of is not necessarily people. It could be units or it could be money. It specifically does not tell you. Well, it tells you it's the number of shoes, but we don't know whether it's in pairs or whatever. But it's not people. So in Belgium, you have to say black leather shoes were much more popular than brown, which were preferred or liked by only 5,000 people. This number is significantly lower than any other country. So yes, you've got the right idea, but be careful of that, which is just taking you on the wrong direction. In Poland, Germany, Ireland, Holland, and France, brown leather shoes were preferred by, because it's a choice, preferred by the majority of customers. Yeah, almost a similar proportion, almost a similar proportion of customers bought brown leather shoes in Poland as Germany. You're comparing all the time. These little words are important, with a figure of approximately 125,000 each, whereas good or while is the other one you could have, black or in contrast to. Black shoes sales which were, careful on your relative clauses, half of this in both countries, good. Sales in Ireland and Holland, capital letter, range from 60,000 to 100,000 for both types of shoes. Okay, good. Really nice. Okay, so you've given me the details which are really good. You've made some contrast between the two, which is nice. So you haven't just said, okay, black here, brown here. You've understood that you need to compare the numbers for each country. So you've done that really, really well. Watch out for little grammar mistakes. I feel this is just be really careful. There's quite a lot of little grammar mistakes, so try and wipe some of those out. Good work though, Tariq. Well done. Really, really good.